Hey everyone, I'm doing my next piece from my John Maxwell, the 21 most powerful minutes in a leader's day. And I'm going on to the same chapter that I did before, still focusing on the Last Supper and Jesus at the Last Supper and how he washed the disciples' feet. So when we think of service roles, sometimes people think, oh, service roles are menial jobs, service roles are and should be poor paid jobs. But in actuality, without service roles, nothing would function. Whether we are working in call centers or serving customers or providing service at executive level roles, we're serving people and we're serving unto the Lord. For us as Christians, whatever we do is considered to be sacred service. So we don't just serve, we do it for the greater glory of God, and we do it because we've been gifted, we've been talented. And when we look at the task of washing, Jesus washing the disciples' feet, some people might say that's menial work, because you can imagine the disciples, if they're out in Israel on dusty roads coming back, their feet would have been dusty, their feet would have been dirty. But to wash a person's feet in our tradition, it comes from Jesus. It comes from him setting that example. And in many places, when people enter, they take their shoes off in Canada when they enter into homes. In Zimbabwe, we never did that because we didn't have to deal with snow. We didn't have to deal with snow melting all over our floors. But in the rainy season, we would take our shoes off and leave them in the kitchen or leave them by the entrance, because you don't want to mess up your floors. And Jesus gives us this example because he's the teacher, he's the leader, and he's washing the feet of his disciples. When we are washing people's feet, you can imagine some people don't like people touching them. Some people don't like people doing things for them. We would rather do it ourselves. So to wash a person's feet, you have to allow them to touch you. You have to allow them to serve you as well. And the point I wanted to look at was how we are motivated by love to serve. When Jesus when he healed Simon Peter's mother-in-law, he took her by the hand. That was an act of service. It was a service of healing. When he talked to people and he relayed his stories, that was also an act of service. And people were sitting and listening to him. So in all the stories that we have in the Bible that have been passed down, we see how Jesus served. And so too, all of us serve. All of us want to work. We don't want to just be sitting at home. I mean, some people are happy to do it, but definitely for me, I don't like sitting at home. I don't like having to take money from other people. I don't like having to not be able to provide for myself and use my skills, my education. I like to work. And that's something that comes from the Zimbabwe culture. In Zimbabwe, work is valued, work is sacred, and it's unfortunate because right now, and for a long time now, many Zimbabweans have been out of work in Zimbabwe. And even here, people come here and we can't get work. We can't get work in our fields, we can't get work in our places where we could shine using our skills, whether it's human resources or executive assistant work. It's very, very hard to get those positions. And I know when I left TD, many people told me, oh, don't worry, we'll open doors for you. You know, there's no future here. There's no point you staying here. It's better for you to move on. But unfortunately, that did not happen for me. So from 2007 to now, I have been working in areas that are not my forte. I have been serving people, serving customers, serving organizations, but it's not been in my strong point. It's not been in my sweet spot. But I take whatever I can, and it's very, very hard. So that's why now I'm looking to move back to England or to move to another place where I can start over, where I don't have to deal with the politics, the family dynamics, people taking things out on me, because I don't deserve it. I don't interfere in people's lives, and it's not good for me to stay at home. My mother says it's good for you to stay at home. I told her it's not. I want to work. I went to university to study so that I can work, and I want to work and use my skills. So these are the things we can reflect on. And we also have to be secure enough to serve others. Because if we're not secure in our talents, in what we can provide others, people are not going to come to us. People don't go to a doctor if the doctor's not confident in his skills. People don't go to a nurse if they feel the nurse doesn't know what she's doing. The same way, people don't come to me if they feel that, okay, you don't really sound sure of what you're doing. They'll say, give me somebody else. So we also have to be confident as executive assistants. We have to know what we're doing. We have to be able to project ourselves with confidence, and in human resources or whatever skill, whatever service we're providing, we have to be humble as well, because people don't like somebody who comes across as arrogant. And it's been very, very hard for me to be pushed from one job to the other, one contract to the other, long periods to stay at home and just do nothing. I mean, it's not ideal. It's not what I wanted for my life. And here there are jobs available. It's not like there's no jobs. There are jobs available, and I do apply. So I'm hoping that that break will come for me, whether it's in New York or in another city where I can move to and I can use my skills and talents, because it's not good for me to just stay at home and be like an old lady looking after my pot plants, listening to music, going swimming. I mean, what kind of life is that for me? It's not a good life. I don't like being a lady of leisure. I don't like staying at home and just getting money from the government, not earning what I'm capable of earning. So I provide my talks free, but I did put a link in there for the GoFundMe so that if people do decide they want to help, they want to put some money towards my internet, my phone, my rent, they can do it, because I'm giving something out. I'm not just saying, here, give me some money because I'm incapable of working. Because I'm very capable of working, and with the right support, my health is just fine. Like anybody, if there's too much pressure, if I'm taking 100 calls a day, 3 chats at a time, and I have to respond to an email within 8 minutes, of course that it's going to cause my health to fail. Because in normal companies, people don't do that. You're not tracked how much time you're spending on an email, how much time you're spending on a call, how much time you're spending on a chat. It's too much pressure for me. So I have to also try to find something that's more suitable, where I can use my qualifications, use my degrees, use everything I've trained for in Canada, because it was hard work to get that HR certification, to get the executive assistant diploma. All those things, I put in time, I put in effort, I sacrificed, I used my own money. I didn't take anybody else's money to get my qualifications and to study. And I did it against people telling me that I'm stupid and that I can't accomplish anything. I can't achieve anything. So those are my accomplishments, because you can't take somebody's education away. I worked hard, I handed in the papers, I did it on my own computer, and I went to my professors when I needed help in South Africa, here in Canada, and I want to use those gifts and talents and be able to serve others just like everybody else. The last point is good leaders initiate acts of service. So when they went to the upper room, when Jesus served, he expects the disciples to also go out now and serve, and not to just say, okay, well, now Jesus did that for us, that's very nice, so we'll just carry on our lives now as normal. So we're also challenged to go out and to help others and to be good examples to others. With the nature of service, service is the rent we pay for being here on earth. We are stewards of this earth. All of us are going to die. Some of us die young, some of us die old. It depends on when God says, your time is up now, it's time for you to come back. So we have to be able to serve others, to help others, and to make sure that we are not using positional power, because it's not about the title. Some people get paid a lot of money when they work as directors. Others of us work as directors and we still don't earn those $100,000 salaries. We still get paid peanuts. We're doing the same work as them, maybe even more. We don't get those big salaries. But now I want to earn those big salaries because I have a lot of people that I owe money to, and I have a lot of people that I need to pay back. And for 20 years, I've been kept in a state of dependency where people have gotten me out of those jobs. So now, when I get the good jobs, I have to pay them back. When I sold my place, the first thing I did was I gave my mother back her money. She gave me $7,000. And as soon as I sold that place, I gave it to her because she was very unhappy about giving me the money. And she said, I've also got my own expenses. I said to her, you know what, Mom, I know you got your own expenses, but I'm trying to hold on to my place because I bought this for you and me. This is my investment so that we could stay together. And she said, no, I don't want to stay with you. I want to go back to Milton. So I was like, fine, but at least help me because I'm not young anymore. At least help me to keep my place so that I can have a nest egg for myself. But in the end, it didn't work out. So now I want to focus on buying a new place and a better place than I have now. I want my own place with a property. I want land around it. I want to get a place with a swimming pool. And these are my goals and my dreams that I want to do. And I want to have property around me. I want to be able to go into my backyard and sit there and to be paid well for the service that I provide. Because I do a very good job. Wherever I work, I do exceptionally well. And I want to be rewarded for it financially and to have a pension. I work very well with everybody, not just with the executives. That's my forte, but I work well with everyone, whether it's the cleaners, the vendors, arranging parties, looking after household staff, paying them. I know how to do all of that. And then the last point is that he says, leaders who serve others live a blessed life. So people who are helping others, God blesses them. Because we follow Jesus, we do it with a good heart. You might say, oh, well, look at what happened to Elvis Presley. He died broke. But look at who was around him. It was the people around him that did him down. It was people he trusted, people he loved, that did him down. And that's sad. Because if you have good values, if you have values that are helping others, you won't do that to somebody. You won't do them down, especially if it's your own family. So we have to examine our own hearts. We have to make sure that our motives are pure, that we have the values that are needed. And hopefully those things will fall into place for us. Because I know I don't interfere with anybody's lives, anybody's marriages, including my sisters. I have had nothing to do with them for many, many years. So I was flabbergasted when the police told me that they were being told I was fixated and obsessed with them. Because I've never done anything to hurt them or to put them down or to do them down. I don't deserve it. So it's not really fair to me that they keep getting the support to have calls put through, and in the process they're hurting themselves. Because I live a quiet life. I live my own life. Initially, I used to phone them for their birthdays, for Christmases, and I used to tell them, why don't you come here, we can have a Christmas together. They didn't want, they weren't interested. So I left it. And I focus on my own life, my own job, my own talents, and I move forward. My sister's been blessed. She's had 20 years of stability, 20 years of working in the same company. My brother's also been blessed. I have not had those same blessings in my life, but I've kept my faith, and that's been my blessing. I've been hit with all kinds of things: anxiety, unemployment, having small-term contracts, and it's been ongoing from the time I've come to Canada. It's been very, very difficult for me. And on top of that, I still get told, why don't you think about others? Did anybody think about me? No. I had to do it on my own. So it's very, very hard, especially when you're a single woman. You don't get the support that you need in the community. You might be a spiritual director in Canada. You might be a lector at church. You might be somebody who sits on boards like me. But they always give the support to the married couples and the people with the children. And it's not like I've harmed children. I've always been good with children. Even when I go up to the pool here, the children all come to talk to me. Their mothers just look at them because I don't say anything, and then they'll come to me and they'll say hi. They'll start talking to me. But do I get the financial rewards? Do I get the support? No, I don't. Even for how many years have I been applying for jobs in the church, with the Jesuits, with different organizations? I don't get the support, and I've been asking for it. I've been telling people, I've been telling the Jesuits, I've been telling the sisters, I've been telling people I know who work at Ernst Young, different companies, I'm looking for a job and I'll do a good job. I want to use my skills and I want to be able to earn well. But I don't get it. I don't get what this country is looking for. Everybody gets a job through somebody that they know or through an agency. So I don't get it. I don't get what the problem is with why I can't land a good paying job. With all my credentials, all my experience, all my skills, and being somebody who keeps the Christian values, I don't get what people are looking for that I'm not delivering. I've had to work overnight, I've had shifts starting at midnight, I've had shifts starting at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. here in Canada. And I've done it. I've never complained about anything. I've done whatever I had to do. I've taken short-term jobs working at the retail stores for the Christmas periods. I've worked with selling the lottery tickets for the Princess Margaret Hospital with Stericycle. I've done everything it's possible for one person to do, and still I don't get the good-paying jobs. So it's soul-destroying. It's very heartbreaking. When you put in all the work and people still badmouth you, people still put you down, people still say, oh, what's wrong with you? You can't hold a job. It's very soul-destroying. That I keep my faith, I pray in my home, I go to the church when I can, and I just carry on because I'm praying God gives me a break and takes me away from Canada because I'm not appreciated here. If I was appreciated here, when I left TD, whoever told me they were going to help me and get me into a good-paying job somewhere else, they would have done it. They didn't do it. They all said, oh, don't worry, we'll help you, we'll get you into another executive assistant job. They're all sitting in their executive roles. None of them helped me. And I trusted them because I did a good job for them. So my prayer is that I get a break to go back to London, to England, and in a good executive assistant role where I can use my master's, because I've given it my best here. I've done everything right and I haven't received the rewards. I haven't received a good paying job. I will not qualify for a pension when I retire. I've helped all the political parties in Toronto, all of them, NDP, Liberal, Conservative, all of them. Whoever asked me for my help, I helped them. I went out with them. I don't go out anymore. I just help on social media where I can. But it's not fair to somebody like me who's put in all the work, who's done everything right, to not have things work out. And it doesn't mean that I'm not blessed. I'm blessed in other ways, but I also want that financial piece to fall into place. It's important for me. I want something of my own. There's that old spiritual song, God bless the child that's got its own. That's why. Because visible minorities, that's what we value. We want something of our own. We don't want to live in rented properties and have our money go to other people. And it's unfortunate because when I had my place, I could have kept it. But people didn't want to help. So that's the way it is now. But I'm praying, I'm hoping I get a break to go back to England or to go to another place where I'll be paid well. Because I've done everything I can here and it hasn't worked out. That's just the reality. The jobs they want me to do, low-paid jobs, minimum wage jobs, are not the jobs I want for myself. And I've worked hard. I've helped other people. I've helped my mother. I've helped my sister. I've helped my brother. So why can't I also have a good paid job? Why I can't have a car? And I don't just want like a small little car. I want like an Alfa Romeo. I want the top class cars. I want a beautiful place to live. Even when I do my place here, you can see how I've done my place. I might buy things on Amazon, but I'll make sure they're good quality. I make sure they're things that last. When my sheets wear out, I replace them. When I was living at Rosewell Gardens, I couldn't afford to replace them. My godmother helped me. She used to send me towels, send me sheets. She worked 2 jobs. If I had the 2 jobs, I would also work them. I don't get. I apply to so many retail positions. I apply to so many jobs at the post office, government positions. I don't get anything. Not even one. I mean, my life is being wasted here. I don't want to waste my life. And I'm praying every day that Jesus opens that job for me that will take me away from Canada, because I'm tired of what's happening to me here. I don't deserve to be treated how I'm being treated, and I don't deserve to be always put back into minimum wage. Not after I've worked so hard. If I was a criminal or going around prostituting myself or making a problem for people or causing trouble for people, it would be different. But I've come here and I've outshone everybody and I still can't get a job.